Hello and welcome to this Madden 2017 weeks 6 and 7 of the real Tom Tom playing as the Dolphins and doing badly at that as well. So this week, the first one, week 6 against the Jets. This was a computer-controlled AI, so it's me against the computer. This is how it goes down. As you all know from watching the previous videos, if you haven't watched the previous videos, don't worry, you can find out now that I suck at this game. For those of you that have played Madden in the past, for those of you that know American football, there's a lot of plays, there's a lot of understanding about what the defense is doing, there's a lot of understanding. What you might see there was I selected a play, I don't know why, or I pressed the wrong button when trying to get through to the thing, which was spike the ball. So, you know, 3rd and 11, it's a long way to go, but I'm luckily able to hit Jay Ajayi on his out route there, get a first down and keep going to keep it moving. There we go, he's nice and open, I get the space, and so while I'm getting better at this game, as with my Formula 1 series, which you can also view on this channel, it's a separate playlist somewhere else, but there's a learning curve to kind of any game that you play, but especially when you're playing it on a multiplayer against other people. You've got to not only learn the plays, not only learn everything, but you've got to try and get it as good as you can get it. Now, saying all that, my first drive, very quickly there, I get a touchdown, which, again, I was surprised about this early on. But I do get a touchdown. I'm very proud of myself, I am too. I do a nice little skip over the line. I don't know why. Mashing buttons. So Kenny Stills, formerly of the New Orleans Saints, I think, in real life at least. He's now playing for me. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know whether I'd changed my kicker to be, or my punter to be in my kicker. So because it's wet, whatever, it kept getting worse and worse and worse. My kicking, as always, is atrocious. So up against the Jets, they get open, and now they have their first touchdown. So they're going to sort of get their field goal without any problem because computer controlled, none of the button lag, none of the issues that you may have. I think that was the thing with this game, was I changed my punter to be my kicker, so he wasn't as accurate, wasn't as good. I don't know why, but yeah, so currently in the game I am essentially trying to draft, I'm looking at the draft prospects for kickers and punters to see if I can get someone better, because at the moment they're also up for contract renewal, and the amount they're asking is just far too much with the cap that I have, the cap space I have in the game. It's just far too much for me to keep. So I'm going to be looking for a new kicker, and maybe that'll help me. I doubt it very much. So I'm currently losing 7-6, and here we go into the end of the fourth quarter. It's 20-12, not time, just in score. So throughout the whole game, it was a bit of give and take. I decided to cut most of it out because, again, not much really went on. It was I got 2 touchdowns, and I think they'll come up in the highlights. But I got 2 touchdowns, and what happened was that neither kick was completed. So I'm now looking to make it into the end zone, and each time they get absolutely I get it taken out, and it just goes like this. So what happens? Well, it gets turned over, but luckily probably better than I would have been able to punt it anyway. They are now running. Matt Forte has had 10 rushes for 14 yards, so have contained their running game pretty well, but you'll see by the end that it makes no difference. It really is a massive learning curve for people that haven't played Madden to come into this sort of game now. I'd almost recommend going back to find yourself a Mega Drive and try sort of Madden 98 or something, because it was a lot simpler And if you're like me, so you kind of like American football, but you're not not an American. You're not following it on a day-to-day basis. You don't know what half the plays mean. You don't know what half of it actually does. I'm doing the training. I'm trying to learn this and work on it. There we go. So 20-12. I got 2 scores. I was pleased with the touchdowns, but ultimately it's again for nothing. The Jets beat me. If I'd beaten them, I'd have jumped them in the table, but they now go like 1-5, and I've lost 6. It's a lot to take in, a lot to consider, a lot to try and watch, especially like when you're throwing. Plenty of times you'll see that here we go. Here are all the highlights from the game where I get some touchdowns. There we go. That was my second touchdown. You saw the first one of him running it in here. This is it, where he ran it in. My second touchdown was thrown again to Kenny Stills. He was a good producer for me that game, but the Jets ultimately just too much for me. So I have the most passing yards and rushing yards on both sides are really low. 15 rushing yards, pretty atrocious. But we both have about 5.5 yards a carry. They're just able to be more productive with them. So this is my next game. This is against a real person, the Dolphins versus the Broncos. Excuse me, itchy nose. So this is going to be a bit more in depth. The reason I think I cut that was it was against the computer. It's just me playing the computer, but this is against a real human being, and let's see what happens. So a good kickoff for him. My kick returns still not great. Not making it. Should have taken a touchback. Don't even make it to the 20-yard line. So it's trying to find out what works best for me. I'm really, really trying to work on my run game because I think there could be a lot more taken from the runs than I have at the moment because of it being essentially a run league. It's trying to work out where to find the holes, how that all works, and when to audible, when not to audible, what to do. I do a lot of throwing because it's kind of the only thing I'm confident doing. But as you'll find with this, as this game goes on, sometimes that's not the best way to go. You become predictable in what you're doing. You become predictable in your play habits, and it does make a difference. You start working out what someone's going to try. You work out what someone's going to do, and it's how it goes. So I would have kicked the last one. We're still a tied game. It's 1st and 10, or maybe he caught it. I can't remember. So 2nd and 10 again. Going for a run on the 2nd down. I get a few yards, but not anything to write home about. But again, trying to work out when do I run, when do I sort of put more on my run game than not. So in the comments, please do let me know. Let me know what I missed. If you see any plays, please tell me where I should have done something differently. So again, it's me trying to improve I think I've put my punter and kicker back in their correct respective positions. Again, trying like I see many people do, kicking out of bounds, but just not far enough out of bounds, and because again, not very good at it. If I do it too far out of bounds to make sure it definitely goes, it's too far up the field, and they're better for it. So here we go. That was a pretty good throw, 1st and 10. Now it's 2nd and inches. I expect I'd try and run this. Yeah, there we go. There's a big gap opened up, and enough to get me a 1st down. So we're in the 2nd quarter, 8 minutes. So only just into the 2nd quarter. That was a terrible throw. I again, not quite sure what I was thinking or what button I was expecting to press. That was straight up the middle. That time I got lucky with seeing it correctly, seeing where there was someone open and having the time to do it. But now it's trying to get somewhere close to scoring or doing something. There we go, and nicely found in space. Sometimes I get it right. I mean, sun shines on a dog's ass at some days. But that was an unlucky not to catch, I think. It's tricky to know, I think, sometimes what is the best way to play it, and what is the best way to kind of convert something. So it's 3rd and goal in the end zone. and now it's pushing. So again, definitely go for the kick, trying my best to not have that kick lag, and I get it through. So I get 3 points on the board from my first. Well, it was probably my second drive. Actually, I probably edited out his drives in this. So second quarter, a minute left to go. I was able to contain him. I get a really nice catch and through for a touchdown. So far, the game is going well for me. Second touchdown for J.J. There you go. Yeah. So second touchdown. I don't think Anyway, learning how to kick. So I make that kick happen. Now this is where it all goes wrong for me. My mindset becomes. So he then gets a touchdown. That was a really, really nice play. He was able to avoid being blitzed out and stuff. So it's now going to be, with the second quarter, 28 seconds to go, 10-7, because he gets his conversion. Now, I should have not been as frustrated or as flustered as I become. And this is something I've obviously learned, is with seconds left on the clock, go into halftime with the lead. Consider what you're doing and play it well. So at the moment, annoyed that I'd given up the touchdown, but actually I've got something I can do here. Except what I do is go and throw an interception with 17 seconds left to go. So what happened was I must have edited it out, I do apologise, but what happens is he gets, using his last few seconds, a field goal because he's just in range, and so it's now half-time 10-10. I've edited out a lot of the second quarter because it just goes from bad to worse for me. You can see there it's 17-10, I throw another interception, and it's one of those bits where when you lose mental focus, it's crazy how that happens, but when you lose mental focus, it really does throw you off your game. It's now 34-10. I haven't improved on my score from the first quarter, and he has just been able to predict what I'm going to do. He's been able to take on my defense and just do really well with it. Again, there, I mean, it's dying seconds of the game, but he gets another interception because I'm really just trying to get that win back that I'd lost in the first quarter. So second quarter, 10-10, I could have done something. Third and fourth quarter, you can see there, 14 points, 10 points. He took the game away from me and did really well with it. Here you can see his touchdowns and how he played. It was, it was a game I lost. Not that he didn't win, of course he did, but it's a lot of just me throwing interceptions, me giving up simple plays, and not keeping my head on straight, and just getting frustrated and flustered. And that is the thing, is I get more passing yards, he got a lot more rushing yards, I have more averages per play, and I'm still not sure what the takeaways are. Maybe they had a couple more curries on the sideline than I did. I don't understand what that is, but essentially I lost that game and he did really well to win it from and really rattle my play. So thanks for watching. I do hope you enjoy these Madden videos. Hopefully I'll get better at them as I understand what's going on and can talk more about the plays and why I did certain things. At the moment, I'm just trying to show you just kind of an overview. Obviously, you have the full streams. I leave up all the live sort of hour-long games that are played. So do subscribe, like, rate me, add comments of what I could do better or worse. Follow me on Twitter at TheRealTomTom. Thanks very much for watching this video.